are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle could have never been more right with those beautiful words. Such is the belief of the Division of Tagum City in the implementation of the special program in journalism. As we showcase today the best practices and achievements of the SPJ implementation of Tagum City, we shall also hear the brilliant words and ideas of the powerhouse cast behind the distinction that is the SPJ. My dear friends, this is another episode of Kapehan sa Division, highlighting the best practices and achievements of the special program in journalism of the Division of Tagum City. This has been produced by La Filipina National High School, Salida TV, in coordination with the Division of Tagum City. This is your host, Joan Lanciola. Our episode for today captures the sincere desire of the Department of Education to put out into the open the best practices and achievements of the special program in journalism in the Division of Tagum City. We shall also be hearing the different views and opinions of the pillars behind the SPJ. And here now is our first set of guests. The kind of worker you are is determined by the kind of leadership you have. Ladies and gentlemen, the leader who believes in self-motivation, the school's Division Superintendent of Tagum City, Dr. Josephine L. Fadul. A dynamic leader like Dr. Fadul deserves an equally competent second in command. The Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Melanie P. Estacio.
Good morning, SDS Fadul and HSDS Estacio. Allow me to express my deepest gratitude for giving us the chance to be with you again this morning, especially to congratulate your leadership in the implementation of the SPJ. I have a few questions for you just to reinforce the different reports that we have prepared by the SPJ implementers. Now, first question would be for Dr. Fadul. What community links have we established in the division level in order to strengthen the implementation of the SPJ?
Again, good morning, Joanne, to all the staff of the Kapehan Division at La Filipina National High School and to all our viewers. Now, before I answer the question, Joanne, I believe it is but up to give a brief background why we offer special programs on journalism, particularly in the division. And basically, this is to hone the talents and skills of our students and teachers, particularly in the area of journalism, in the print and broadcast media. And again, as to the question of that you throw, what are our links, there are plenty, particularly the support that is given to us by the local government unit, and not mentioning also with the links that we have with our local radio and TV stations. And hopefully we will come to the point na we will be expanding after COVID. We will be expanding not only within Tagum City but our link in outside Tagum City Division, particularly the local TV stations also in Davao City. Again, the bigger the scope of the exposure of our children and our teachers will be, the better, And I just would like to elaborate on the specific support that we have been receiving from each of our partner. And indeed, Joanne, I'd like to grab this opportunity in saying na COVID, while on one side has been a very negative thing to us, but on the other hand, it also opens new avenues and new opportunities, because with the advent of COVID and with the kind of modalities of learning that we are having, we were given chances, no, by our partners, support also, in order to explore on online, particularly atong journalism, no, where we do not venture only on the print and the traditional way of delivery, no, or the print and the broadcast, but we already venture into online, no, and using the ICT. And this is where our LGU in particular, our number one supporter in whatever kind of modalities that we venture into as far as instruction, delivery of instruction of our students, and the creation, the studio, for example. This is an attribute that we can thank for the LGU, no. As you can see in our division, we do have 3 studios, no? One in La Filipina National High School, the other is in Compre, the other one is in Pilot Central, Magungpo Pilot Central Elementary School, intended for the elementary. Ang sa Compre naman is intended for senior high school, junior high school.
7 to 10.
Sa inyo ang junior high school, no? Si senior high school ang Compre. Why do we do it this way? Why do we have studios in the schools? Because again, while we believe na we are accepted and open, no, in other local stations that we have, both in the city and in the province, but nevertheless we would love moving around our people, our teacher broadcasters in charge of the TV and radio instruction natin, would be loving to move around freely if it will be within our compound. So that's why we created studios in the schools, so that these are the venues or the places where our teacher broadcasters will be developing our learning materials intended for the TVI and the RBI, you know. So as you can see, Joanne, for every studio that we created in every school, it's not a joke. The expenses, the resources that we utilize is not a joke, no? For example, initially in La Filipina National High School, the first appropriation that we have, Mel, is in the tune of 900,000. Hindi pa yan kompleto, ano? Multiply this with 3 studios, no, in the division. So, plus, sabi ko nga sa mga principal, you can still ask for more, because we believe na the SEF, the Special Education Fund ng local school board, yung mga original natin na mga allocations, halimbawa travel, mga inset of teachers, mga sports, mga gatherings, for some time, for almost a year yata, projection ni Mayor, next year, ma'am, wala pa tayong mga gathering na mangyayari. So, it's about time, ma'am, na realign natin. Ask for any realignment that would assist and fulfill your local learning continuity plans, and utilize those funds for this. And that's why I say to the principal, grab the opportunity and request, no? Submit mga purchase requests on things that you would like to improve on the studio in your school.
That's very nice to hear, Doc, no? Especially, you have mentioned that COVID is negative per se, but we look at the silver lining, and we see so many silver linings now, because we have been talking earlier that these RBI, TVI are just dreams, no? But then these have already come true, no? In
just
this
like what
time.
you said earlier, na and you were dreamed na I can be an asset to this
Yes.
kind of program. So you see, so there are still full of rooms for improvement.
Yes,
Things that we were not contemplating before COVID, na tama, pwede pa pala akong maging broadcaster, madiscover ng ABS-CBN, no?
Yes. So for the next question, though, we have the best practices and achievements under our SPJ implementation, but admittedly, there is always room for improvement. So what do you think are the areas wherein you should give recommendations for improvement?
Yeah, basically, I would like to say na, as you can see, ang SPJ natin, nag-pilot lang tayo in one school in the division. I believe, what school is that? La Filipina?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And And considering na pilot school lang siya, there's only one, no? And I am looking forward, Mel, na every school, big schools, both in the elementary and the secondary, would be offering SPJ, no? Because again, I know that there are many talents in our division waiting to be tapped only, no? We have proven these talents that we have among students and teachers in the RSPC, in the NSPC, but sad to say that they were not tapped to the fullest of their potential because they lack this kind of facilities. But had it been that this is offered in all our schools, mas marami pa tayong ma-uncover ng mga talents. And one thing more that I'd like to emphasize, we are very lucky to have one of the pillars in journalism in the person of ESDS Mel, because I believe before ESDS Mel become part of the superintendency, she's in the region, no? And she's handling the program on journalism. So all the more, if before ESDS Mel came to us, we're already strong in our journalism component, much more that we can become stronger with the guidance, able guidance of ESDS Mel.
Thank you very much for your answers, Doc Fadul. Indeed, this is the beauty of the SPJ because we can tap more talents. But I 100% agree with your plans that you're going to establish SPJ implementation in most schools, if not all. No? And Doc Mel, the next question will be yours. And Doc Fadul had already mentioned that you have been the focal person of the SPJ implementation in the region for how many years, Doc Mel?
For 3 years.
Oh, see? So,
I started in Davao City, so
okay.
on 6 years.
Oh, see, so you are an expert already now. So
Blessing, additional blessing.
A blessing indeed. So the question, Doc Mel, is that this is a challenge actually, no? The reference materials for the SPJ is still a work in progress. So what have we done so far in our division to resolve this challenge?
First and foremost, I would like to give you a background. The central office already initiated to draft, to quality assure the different materials for this curriculum. Actually, Ma'am Christy, Dr. Agudera, and of course, your Sir Hardy here, been a part of this curriculum development, together with some personalities from Davao de Oro and from Davao City. Actually, the materials is already in the BCD, and this is for quality assurance. So anytime when they will get the approval of the EXICOM, this will be readily sent to us for implementation. But anyway, SPJ is a special curriculum ito. And basically, our curriculum is not based on textbook. It is not based on any references. But indeed, we need references. I would like to remind you that our curriculum is competency-based. So when you say competency-based, you can get any materials, you can utilize any materials, the contextualize it is, the more functional and more effective will be. So if you imagine you will be using one reference or only one textbook, you will only be learning one principle. You will only be learning one perspective. But if your teacher, your SPJ teacher is creative and innovative enough to use materials which is available in your locality, it's more effective. You know, ang principle ng journalism, it's still the same noon at saka ngayon. So once your teacher and our learners here are very adept to the principles and theories of journalism, masking anong material ang gagamitin natin, it will really be effective. So, ang ganda, because it's the teachers-made materials you are using now, diba? Teachers-made materials. These are more functional, these are more contextualized, and these are more meaningful and relevant to you. So do not be too fixed to the principle na hindi kami matututo if we don't have textbooks or references, because there's a lot of materials around us that we can use. Creativity and innovativeness are the keys for this. And I believe, no, Tagum City, maski wala pa itong SPJ curriculum na ito, you're already soaring high. The region, no, are, recognize or really acknowledge your performance pagdating sa SPJ. Kaya noon, when I was in the regional office, being the focal on SPJ, so number one talaga ang Tagum na tinatap ko, because I know that they can really deliver.
Yeah, even when I was still a student, no, it's always it's a fight between Davao City and
Yes.
Tagum City when it comes to wins, no, in journalism, and
Yes.
we're able to sustain up to this time. No? Basically,
Yes.
siguro because we have big support coming from our partners.
That's
Second is,
yes.
I believe that our students can never be good without them having also good mentors and
Correct.
say
The commitment.
kudos and appreciations to our good mentors in journalism, no, good teachers.
A personal belief also is that an SPJ teacher should be resourceful, no?
Yes.
Resourceful, as what you have mentioned, Doc Mel, innovative, creative, and this, I believe, are present in the value system of our SPJ implementers.
Because the skills that you will learn in SPJ is not only learning inside the box. You really have to go or even think without the box. That's journalism. You are free. This is the most, sabi ko na, freer talaga ang curriculum na ito, because you can do whatever you want
Yes,
here.
yes, I
Of
agree.
course, with the parameters that it's being set.
Earlier, Joanne has been asking me the question, what are other rooms for improvement, no, in our SPJ? I am looking forward now when COVID is over, we can, instead of utilizing you, we can utilize our SPJ students to be doing these things,
Yes,
no?
exactly.
So kayo nandyan lang background to be
Had there
guiding,
been no
no?
COVID,
Yes.
After COVID, after COVID.
Nung wala pang COVID, nagiging contest lang ito.
Oo.
Pero this time, it became a way of life. Ito na to. Hindi na ito pa-contest. Talagang ginagawa ninyo because it is necessary. And you are gaining or developing your skills, no?
Indeed, COVID really opened doors.
So
no?
Other
Yes,
opportunities.
other opportunities.
Which we believe before is highly impossible, but
Yes.
now it's just
Kaya pala.
a way of life na nga, no? At the flick of a finger.
Our eyes were open that everything is possible.
Correct.
Huh? So, thank you very much for your time, Doc Fadul and Doc Mel. So maybe you can give your message of support. They need that, no? Especially at this time.
We do not have to belabor in explaining to you and showing to you the big support that we have been receiving to our partners, basically our local government units. If I may say so, and being truthful, this big support of our LGU can be shown and can be seen when you attended the NSPC in Tugigaraw. Na unsit na kasi simula ng COVID, no, it's not only financially that we're supported by the LGU, but even morally, to the point na nahirapan kayo pagsakay sa eroplano, nahirapan kayo ng pagkain, and then even from fetching you to the airport na saan, as akala nyo Davao City, nag-Jensan pala, even the LGU employees, drivers, na hindi malaman kung saan kayo i-pick up, sa Jensan ba, sa Davao City ba, kung dadaan ba kayo ng Talaingol, kung dadaan ba kayo ng ano yung opening na sa Panabo. Without you knowing all the people that have been working just for you to be brought safely to Tagum, it's the LGU. Even contacting the LGU counterpart nila is our LGU. Mapakain kayo on time, it's the LGU. Ako, text lang talaga ang trabaho ko doon. Please help us because this is now the situation of our students. Kung hindi ba naman support ang tawag dyan, I do not know what to call it, no? Kaya pwede naman talaga ang LGU natin magsabi, bakit kasi umalis-alis pa kayo? Alam nyo magka-COVID, ano? The parents ang kinokontak nila, ako naman contact sa LGU. What can DepEd do at that particular time? Even RD, no? Do you know that the expense that we did have on that part times to na double in terms of finances, because your tickets you should understand that your first ticket was cancelled, no? All the while I'm thinking na pwedeng hindi pala, so double plus the emotional trauma that we had, no? That in itself we do not have to be labored explaining the support that we give to you, no? Just for the sake of journalism, just for the sake of exposing our children and teachers and mentors to the different opportunities on how we can harness further the talents of our journalist students and teachers.
Exactly, Doc. Exactly. And I have been a witness to that, no? So thank you for that, Doc Fadul. Doc Mel, message of support?
I would like to commend all the students who are taking SPJ. So you will have a very good future. It is presumed that if you are an SPJ, you are very good in communication. Both in writing and in oral communication, speaking communication. Even how bright you are in terms of the mathematics, the science, if you don't know how to communicate it properly, if you don't you don't have the skills on writing and speaking, all of this will be in vain. So the communication, no, that you learn through SPJ, your classes in SPJ, and the confidence that you get from your exposure will be a very, very big factor for your future to be a very successful kung saan man kayo. I know hindi naman kayo lahat-lahat maging in the lines sa SPJ, no, sa journalism. Some of you siguro magiging architect, some of you will be CEO someday. But the discipline, no, the communication skill and the talents and the confidence you got from this subject, from your exposure, will give you all the capital to be very, very successful.
Mas maganda may engineer na, writer pa, no?
Oo. Kasi anuhin mo yung talent mo pag hindi mo ma-present yan. So, kailangan ng speaking skill dyan.
Exactly.
Paano ka mag-submit ng proposal or activity design if you don't know how to write? So, I can really see your future, that you will become leaders of the different agencies, the different establishments. So good luck and more power to you. We in the DepEd will be very supportive of you. Ang dami nating facilities ngayon na binigay. So if you are asking for sustainability, I believe we can really sustain this because we have good faculties. You have faculty members, you have very creative and talented students. Meron tayong supportive
parents and LGU
so,
parents.
There is no reason for us not to sustain this program.
There's another thing that I'd like to say as encouraging, no, as encouragement to all our people. I mentioned earlier that pilot lang natin ang La Filipina National High School, but we have already 3 studios, no? I encourage all those City High also. I encourage the Compre and the big elementary schools na present your proposal that you will offer SPJ. With the presence of ESDs, madali natin yan mapa-approve in the higher office.
Because we have already facilities. We have a variance of 6 million sa ating SLMs. Bibili natin ng more equipment pa to support our TVI and RB.
I believe, Mel, what's stopping our principals before to offer SPGs because the resources, the funds. Now that we have started,
COVID gave us the way to have all
there's no reason. We have the talent, we have the resources, we have the support. Go.
Yes. So that's very nice to hear, no?
Yes. We're all excited.
It enlivens our fervor to move forward, no? And I pray that your plans will be blessed by the Almighty so that it can be pushed through, and of course that would be for everyone, no? Not only maybe in Tagum City but in the whole region, and it would just cascade throughout the nation, no? The inspiration, the fervor to work for SPJ, because that's the beauty
of it. It's a national scene. Tagum City is already pumapayagpag na yan.
That's very nice to hear. Nakakataba ng puso.
Kasi kilala na nila ang Tagum pagdating sa journalism. Thank you, Hardy, for doing that.
Estudyante pa nga lang ako is already Tagum City.
We have good talents talaga.
Thank you very much, no? For an ordinary teacher, it really bloats the heart, no, to hear things like that, coming from the leaders of the Department of Education.
Yeah, it's about time that we will harness also the talents of our students now, because eventually we will be exiting from the service. And I am looking forward that these very students that we are training now will be the ones who will be replacing us.
Yes,
So
exactly.
this is the legacy. We will, after COVID, titingnan natin kung sinong pwedeng natin ma-recommend for the U.S. scholarship on journalism. Because when I was in Davao City, I sent one.
Wow!
Yeah.
A recognition and recognizing, no, appreciating the talent.
That's
For
very
more
good.
exposure.
So our young SPJ implementers here, because all of these
So we will
teachers
bring
here
the
are
name of
English.
Tagum to the international scene.
Oh, that's very
With the
good.
link, no, with the link of ESD, she's been working so long with the journalism,
Yes.
so ang connection niya.
Thank you very much, Doc Fadul, Doc Mel. It has been a beautiful morning talking to you about the special program in journalism, and I think you have very brilliant ideas, very bright plans for the program, and I hope all this will push through. But I'm quite sure it will be pushed through.
Yeah, sabi ko nga, isulat lang, no, kan ni-encourage ko ng mga schools, put it into writing. Wala pa naman silang proposal so far na refuse namin.
Oh, that's good. Thank you so much.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The key leaders of the SPJ implementation, Dr. Fadul and Dr. Estacio. We will be right back for another set of guests for Kapehan sa Division.